connectivity, the network building, the community building is a really critical piece of enabling success for underrepresented talent. And it's a piece that is often not formally thought of. And so what has happened historically over the past 10 or 15 years is that organizations have had business resource groups or employee resource groups started, often by associates or employees themselves before they're formally sponsored, in the spirit of building that community and that connection. And that is amazing. Our ERGs, our BRGs are a great place for that connection, but it's often not enough to really give people the differentiated support and connection that they need to grow their career. And so one of the things I've done in addition to bringing the CAP program, because you get that social learning and that connection through the program, is continuing to support cohorts who have gone through that and other similar programs by providing formal connectivity, formal mentorship, formal sponsorship opportunities that are in the spirit of that connectivity. And at Capital One in particular, we do this again in a couple of different ways, but it can be done at any organization. And there's a beauty, I think, of the intentional, structured connection that can be created, as well as supporting the natural or unstructured connection. And it's important to allow associates or employees to have both the structured and the unstructured so that they can get what they need from all of those elements. We say now more than ever that we want all of our associates or employees to bring their whole selves to work. I don't think that we're actually equipped for that. I think that we say that we want to do that, but many organizations have not actually equipped the leaders of those organizations to deal with the whole person and what that means. We're asking people to bring their emotions to work when we didn't necessarily ask them to do that before. We're asking people to bring what's going on outside of work sometimes into the workplace. We're saying that we want to care about the whole person, but that also means that we are caring for pieces of the human that businesses, organizations, people leaders have not been equipped to care for before. So I also think it's really important to recognize that and to give your people leaders the tools to deal with that. I was reading an article a couple of months ago that said that, I'll summarize it, but it said that people leaders, your direct manager, has just as much of an impact on your mental well-being as your physician, which was amazing to me, but also felt very true as I reflected, especially on the past few years. That absolutely is the case. My people leader has been the person who, on some bad days, was there for me, was able to support me, and I did have safety to bring things that I typically never would have brought to work or to that person, to them. But then I also watched that person struggle with how to handle some of those things that I brought forward. And luckily for me, it didn't end up as a negative experience, but I've seen that happen for many, especially underrepresented talent, that turn into a negative experience. So we're encouraging people to bring their whole selves to work, but we're not actually equipping our people leaders to support them. And that community building can help be a part of that support, but I also think it's really critical to give your people leaders, to give your managers the tools to foster some of that community on their own team, and to understand how to care for associates when they are bringing their whole selves to work in the spirit of community building.